what's up? It's Ariel. I'm back. If this is your first time seeing me, hey, nice to meet you. And if you're back again and you've seen me before, thanks for coming back. I've had quite the day in terms of trying to film something. I set up a ton of stuff, picked out like a ton of outfits to make like a fall outfit lookbook type thing, but then it ended up not working. The lighting in my room was just bad and I didn't really have enough space, but hopefully that's coming soon. I'm just gonna try to like work out a way to film it. Anyways, I still wanted to film a video today, so I figured I could just film like a sit down video where I kind of just talk about something that I want to. And today that is social media and just kind of like the social media paradox, why I love it and I also hate it, and kind of why I deleted my Instagram for a year plus kind of now. I just figured it would be something interesting to talk about. Maybe some of you guys can relate, which would always be cool. So yeah, I hope I don't bore you with my rambling or talking, but I don't know. I think this would just be fun to film and discuss. Let's get into it. I pretty much was on social media for a long time. Like I started out pretty young. Like as soon as I got my first phone, in 7th grade, one of the first stuff I did was download Instagram. It was this weird boxy Android phone, but it had Instagram on it, and I had like a main account where I posted everything and had like family and I guess friends on there. Like who did I know? I was in 7th grade, but I had that account, and then I had a secret private photography account, and I never posted my face on there, and nobody in real life knew that I had this account, and it was just like a little secret thing I did, and I built quite a following on there. I think I had like 10K at the time, but I never revealed my like real life identity, and then I think I just forgot my password one day and that was it. Don't really know what happened to that account, but all this to say that I was always kind of interested in Instagram and social media through middle school and throughout high school as well. I think in high school I started to kind of build my resentment, love-hateness towards it. I was that person who would deactivate their Instagram account like every couple of months and be off of Instagram for a while and then show back up. But yeah, I always kind of thought Instagram was weird in the way you can so finely alter how you're perceived to others, and how it kind of alters your own perception of yourself in turn. Especially I noticed this in high school. Like in person, I was definitely the kind of person that you'd see in school and not really hear of or care about otherwise. All my friends only really hung out with me in school or talked to me in school. I only hung out with friends outside of school like a handful of times. I was in class with a lot of people who were close friends with each other, but I was kind of just there. And I mean, they acknowledged me, but I was kind of just there all the time. So I don't know, I was very, I guess, to myself. Not really by choice, but I think that's just like my personality. That was just kind of it. I was just that person. Whatever, that was my high school experience. But the weird thing about having like something like Instagram in high school is that you have this account and you're following all these people from your school that you see every day. They see you every day, following you, and they don't acknowledge you in person, but then go home and post a picture and they'll like it and maybe even drop a comment. And then I think that kind of builds an idea in your head. At least for me, it kind of built an idea in my head that, oh, this is friendship, or I guess it kind of gave me an unrealistic expectation that I was looking for in person that I just didn't get. Like, sure, they'd like my picture, but then the next day we'd be back in school and they would see me in the hallway and walk right by, no acknowledgement, nothing. And I don't know, it was just something that I started to realize, and I just thought it was weird. With social media, I think you can so easily curate how you present yourself, and that's definitely what I use it for. I kind of became obsessed with like controlling my own self-image and tailoring exactly what I wanted people to see and what they would think of me from what they saw and what I chose to show on social media. I would care so much about like what I would wear in an Instagram picture and what music I'd show I was listening to, like on my story, on Snapchat when that was a thing, on Instagram, and I cared about it so much, but honestly, it didn't really matter because it didn't change my relationships or interactions in person, although that was kind of my effort, but it didn't change anything really. And I invested so much time into it and so much effort into it, and it was super obsessive for me, just for other people to not really care. And I think that's what everyone has to come to realize, like, as much as you obsess over your own personal presentation and self-image, everyone else does also. And at the same time, no one else cares about anyone else's self-image, only their own. So it's kind of weird in that way that, like, I don't know, like, what is it all for then? Especially in high school, I noticed it. I felt like everyone was watching my Instagram, my Finsta. Everyone knew these intricate details about my life through me oversharing on my Finsta, and it didn't change anything in person. They were just strangers who now knew very intricate details of my life and still didn't really talk to me or acknowledge me. And I don't know, that was just very weird to me. I think the constant posting and lack of like gratification or lack of acknowledgement or transfer to real life from that posting kind of creates like a hamster wheel. You continue to search for that affirmation online, and to have that affirmation online translate to real life, and it never does, but you just kind of keep trying and trying. At least that's what I did. Me not really being acknowledged that much in person, or kind of having many friends or anything in person, made me depend more on like the online interactions and affirmation, because it kind of gave me a sense of importance in that way. I think that's also something that's pretty interesting, that it's just fake in that way, that the perception that people care what you're doing online, especially when you don't get that in person, I don't know, it does a number on you. You're kind of obsessed with at least receiving that kind of attention online. Yeah, I just became really obsessed with how I was presenting myself and who saw what I was doing, and just making sure everything was right and I looked cool enough and I looked on trend enough and on brand enough to whatever given aesthetic I was pursuing at that time, which changed a lot, like plan out outfits and do all this stuff just to get an Instagram picture. I remember me and one of my closest friends even now, but in high school we would go to the city for like the day, but we would plan out our fits. We would make sure like our phones were charged so we could take pictures in the city, just to kind of show like, yeah, we're in the city taking pictures, we're looking cool, and then post it just for people to like it, and I guess not do anything in person. Like, no one really cares, but we had put so much emphasis on it. It was so much work for such little, like, it didn't really affect me in any way. I think the only thing that it affected was just an ego boost, I guess, a sense of importance. But it was really kind of empty because none of it actually translated to real life. It was all just within my little curated account. Definitely noticed it more in high school. I think once I went to college, I still had my Instagram for like my first and second years of college, and I think people just care a lot less. And I started to realize like, oh, not really everyone has an Instagram. Like, only a handful of my friends were active on social media. I really came to respect that and started to care less about how I presented myself, but it was still kind of there. I also just started to find it weird to go places and pose for pictures. It just seemed like the ultimate act of vanity to like hand someone your phone and say like, oh, take a picture of me while I stand in front of this random wall to look cool for my Instagram followers who don't care. I don't know. It just started to feel weird, and I'd be embarrassed to ask my friends to do it, like if we were just out and about one day and I really wanted to take a picture because I wanted to have something to post. But I'd do it anyway, which is so cringe, but whatever. But I kind of got tired of that, the whole presenting myself a certain way. I kind of just got tired of it, and I stopped seeing the point of it. And I was like, if I'm gonna be lonely in real life, let me just be lonely in real life and let that be that. Like, I shouldn't have to keep trying to make up for it by building a social media following of people who don't care anyway and putting all this effort and time into it. So I think it was the summer of me going into my sophomore year of college, I deleted my Instagram account after a big trip I took. I went to Greece and I was like posting on Instagram every day, and it was kind of fun. But after that, I was like, me going on this trip and taking all these pictures and feeling this fake feeling of like self-importance and whatever. I was just like, yeah, it's time for me to delete it. Since deleting it, I haven't really looked back that much. And sometimes more than others, I have been tempted to reactivate my account, and I still haven't, but I have made other accounts, and I don't know, I still am not sure what I want to do in terms of making another Instagram or being active on Instagram again with the account that I have but don't really use. Same time, I feel like it's kind of a slippery slope. Like, I don't want to go down that path again, but I also kind of feel like I'm missing out on some kind of benefit, even though that benefit wasn't really present when I deleted my Instagram. But I feel like there is also stuff to gain from it for sure. But it's just hard for me to maintain a balance of like healthy usage of social media to kind of just only help me and not really harm me. I think that I kind of use it in a way that only really works to harm me, but not being on social media kind of makes me feel like I'm missing out on opportunities and stuff. Of the few things that have been beneficial on Instagram and that have come of me using social media for the time I did, I met not a lot, but a couple new people. I remember there was this one girl, she followed me, who was from France, and I didn't know her in real life, but she messaged me on Instagram and was like, yeah, do you live in New York City? I'll be in New York City, we should hang out. And I was able to meet a whole new person that I would not have met otherwise. You know, that is an opportunity I don't really have now that I'm not on Instagram, but I feel like that was just one instance out of so many hours of using all these like social media platforms to no benefit. I don't know, I think that as I'm starting to create more art and just do things like even YouTube now, having an Instagram or having social media and stuff would kind of help me to promote it, but at the same time I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that would be too much. I still am kind of not sure where I stand with it. This has just been my kind of rant. I don't even know how long this is or how long I've been talking, but I figured why not talk about it. If you've stayed till the end and watched it to the end, I'm so surprised, but thank you for hearing what I have to say, and please feel free to comment anything, whether you've had a completely different experience or like you shared some of the same experiences that I had. Like, let me know. I love like talking about this kind of stuff with people and just in general. So yeah, let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week, hopefully with a not sit down video, maybe something fashion related or who knows. But yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you for watching.